Well, fans may remember John O'Hurley from his role as Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. When he's not acting, O'Hurley works behind the scenes to raise awareness about epilepsy. Karen Rosnick recently spoke with O'Hurley and President and CEO of the Epilepsy Foundation, Philip Gattone, about the cause.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And John, I'll start with you. A lot of our viewers know you as Jay Peterman, Mirrorball champion at Dancing with the Stars. Tell us, what have you been up to lately?
Well, every night I'm on the Broadway stage reprising my role as Billy Flynn in the longest-running American musical, Chicago. I slap on the tux and razzle-tazzle. I have partnered with the Epilepsy Foundation to become spokesman for a national campaign that they're doing on general awareness of epilepsy, but also epilepsy first aid. I had a personal story, which was a sad one. I lost my sister back when she was 17 years old. I was 16 years old, so I lost my best friend. And it certainly changed the dynamic of our family, made it something we've always had to live with. But in a positive way, I always wanted to become kind of her voice as an advocate for her, so that not only does her memory live on with me, but also the message that she, I'm sure, would like to be communicating right now. We're trying to continue with the idea of normalizing the environment of epilepsy so that people don't have the stigma that's attached to having a neurological disorder. And also to teach a very simple first aid program, which we want to simplify so much so that it becomes as common as the Heimlich maneuver and CPR. We have a program that is called Stay Safe and Side. You stay with the person who's having the epileptic seizure, the convulsions that you see when they drop to the floor and all of a sudden the spasmodic reaction of the body. What you want to do is stay with them. You want to keep them safe. Put something underneath their head, make sure they're not injuring themselves with the environment around them, and also side, which turn them over on their side because that will keep the airway open so that there isn't the danger of aspirating anything. Stay safe and side. If we just communicate those three simple principles, we've done quite a bit today.
Well, that's great, and thank you so much for sharing your story, and so sorry for your loss, John. But Philip, what about you? Do you have a personal connection to this?
I do, Karen. My wife Jill and I have 4 children, and our oldest son Philip has had thousands of seizures in his life since he was 4 years old. He's now 32, and he's gone through quite a journey, as do all families impacted by epilepsy. There are 3.4 million individuals with active epilepsy in the United States, and many of them living right in your viewing area. And as John said, this End Epilepsy campaign is really designed not only to help people with epilepsy and their families find the help and support they need and a way to get involved, but also for the general public to understand what epilepsy is. And so we're just really thankful for John's involvement, his leadership, his willingness to step forward and help us with the End Epilepsy campaign.
Why is awareness needed now?
Well, unfortunately, it takes so long for a person with epilepsy to find the care that they need, and we want to make sure that everybody knows there's a place they can go to get the inspiration and hope they need, to find the connection they need to get to the right care. But also, people just don't understand what epilepsy is. You may understand what a generalized seizure looks like if someone unfortunately falls to the floor and has a seizure, but there are so many different types of seizures. Seizures can be walking around. A person can say something they normally would never say. Anything the brain can do, it can do in the form of a seizure. And the brain is the source of seizures, and we believe the End Epilepsy campaign, using all of our brains together, the brain can be the source to end epilepsy as well.
Is there any indicator, one indicator, that somebody might have a seizure?
Sure. There are some ways to identify someone who's having a seizure if they engage in a behavior that is typically not something they would do. Friends know friends. There are ways to find out, but the best way that someone can really help themselves is to get connected to an epilepsy specialist. And you can learn more information about how you can get engaged in our campaign and find those answers that you need if you just go to endepilepsy.org, or you can contact our Colorado team, which is just a phenomenal team. Sarah Klein and the entire team in Colorado are ready to help as well.
Great information and interview. Thank you, Karen. You can learn more about the Let's Use Our Brains to End Epilepsy campaign on the Epilepsy Foundation's website. You can find out more information at epilepsy.com. That's epilepsy.com and endepilepsy.org. Here in Colorado, you can also help support the Chelsea Hutchinson Foundation. The foundation serves individuals, families, and communities affected by epilepsy. The foundation also raises money to help provide seizure response dogs for people living with epilepsy. This greatly increases their chances of surviving a life-threatening episode. Learn more online at chelseahutchinsonfoundation.org.